Hey guys, welcome to Offshoot Comics Off Topic. We're your host, Kirby Kid.
And Black Superman.
Also known as David Clark.
And Walter Bryant.
And today we're talking about Netflix's Death Note.
Yeah, now, I'm pretty sure that if you listen to us, you've actually seen Death Note the anime. And if you haven't, cut this off right now.
Go watch
Death Note the anime.
And then come back.
Because it is worth everything. My wife hates anime. Loves Death Note.
Death Note, it's like a gigantic chess match. I mean, even the music was great in Death Note, which usually you don't get great music for non-action animes, you know. But I love the concept, and I love the fact that the dude who was the bad guy was the one I wanted to win. Like, I genuinely believe that if you just left Kira alone, things would be better.
Mostly.
Mostly. I think Light had the ability. I think what spurred him into madness was the game.
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't have the game, I think it would have been okay.
Yeah, and I think, you know, like the L's, if they had gone, you know what? As long as you just keep murdering bad people,
we'll leave you alone.
We'll leave you alone. Yeah, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
And the world would have been a better place. The only problem I would have had then would have been that people started worshiping him.
They did, yeah.
Yeah,
we had a guy in the live action that said Lord Kira, so that could have been a problem. But so guys, now you've heard, I'm sure by now you've heard the first reactions. I feel like they tried to do too much too quickly, and I feel like they got the basic characters wrong.
Absolutely.
If they had made this a story about a kid who got a Death Note from Ryuk, because the first part of the series we found out that this is not the first time he's lost it. So,
but see, he didn't lose it,
right? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but, he tells everyone, "Oh yeah, I lost it." No. So I mean, this is not the first time he's thrown a Death Note down for someone to find it.
Mm-hmm.
So if this had been just a Death Note, not the Death Note, it would have been okay. It would have been an enjoyable movie. This was Light's story, and that's where they messed up.
Yeah, I mean, and like let's start off with just the beginning where Light gets caught cheating. Light never doesn't get caught. I mean, ever. Like, if he could have been cheating for everybody in the entire school. He doesn't get caught.
Right.
So that already was a problem. Like, and then he's getting bullied.
Light's popular.
Yeah, that shouldn't have happened either. The fact that people didn't know who he was,
also a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
also why is his name Light in America?
Exactly.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, so I mean, there were already problems starting off with this movie. The fact that he was kind of this dorky kid. His mom being dead. I mean, like, his mom being dead was a plot point for this movie, and it established a few things for him, including a reason for him to use the Death Note. Mm-hmm. But his home life being just a normal everyday home life was actually in the anime a really important thing that was going on.
Because he was a normal kid who was super smart, had everything going for him.
And had no reason to do something like this.
Now, one thing I didn't like was the reason why he used the Death Note the first time. In the live action, it's because he saw a girl being bullied. Now, yes, being bullied is a terrible thing. But at the end of the day, she was going to be okay. In the anime, it was a woman who was probably going to get raped. Mm-hmm. Which, you are not okay at the end of that.
No.
And so he's like, I'm going to hit you with the truck. You know? It's like, so the stakes were different. Like, that boy who was bullying while he was a dick did not deserve to get his head cut off. Not for that.
I mean, I laughed when it happened.
I mean, it was hilarious. But we all enjoyed it. But I mean, in terms of what you deserve, what you do, that was way.
It was overkill.
They were throwing her backpack around. That's not a death sentence, you know. So I mean, things were off. Then he told the chick right away, "Oh yeah, I have a Death Note. There's a death god. You can't see him. Also, I'm a murderer."
Yeah, and let me prove it to you right now by showing you how I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wasn't the smartest, and that's a real problem.
Yeah.
Because once you guys have watched the Death Note anime, if you haven't watched it, you'll notice he's like the smartest guy on the planet. He's got plans upon plans upon plans. I mean, and as L is basically that world's Batman. I mean, he's more or less a morally sound Joker.
Yeah, I mean, also, Light, once he realized people were looking for a book, Walter's Walter is ruining the entire recording right now with his phone call. Are you good? You good to...
Yeah.
Okay. No, one of the things is, if Light realized they were starting to look for him, he wouldn't have the Death Note look like the Death Note. He wouldn't keep all the pages together. There'd be some... He had a piece of paper once in his watch. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was always ready. This kid didn't do a Light-like move until the very, very end, which, by the way, was unnecessary. It really was. I feel like I outthought Light a lot here. Now, granted, I was in high school when I watched Death Note, but I felt like there are times where I was like, I don't know how Light gets out of this. This time, no, I felt that never. At no point did I think that that there's gonna be a surprise. I figured, oh, he's gonna get caught. He's gonna get caught. This is it. It's over. You know?
Yeah, no. He was again. Like think about like the anime. He hollowed out a part of his desk and made it so that he had to stick a straw up through the bottom to even get to the book. So if you opened up his desk drawer, it just wasn't there unless you knew it was there. There were again, like the place where he had the little piece of paper, the little piece of the Death Note in his watch so that he could use it. He would plan out deaths and he wrote times on them so that then he didn't actually have to do anything.
So death would happen while he would be standing next to L, for example, you know,
or while the cops were watching him,
right.
And he was just hanging out.
And those cops are dumb. He was on the phone, yelling, being panicked, running around while they're looking at him. They couldn't tell that this dude is Kira and that he's clearly doing something. Also, why didn't they think, hey, tap his phone? Really?
And then, okay, I'm skipping, but at the end, when they're trying to save him from L instead of trying to take him in, okay, you've got his phone number, right? You can't send me a text message and say, L is trying to kill you. We need you to get in the car with a cop.
Yeah. Also, okay, that chase sequence, okay, there was a point in there that made something later on irrelevant. So, he has this big elaborate plan that if his girlfriend takes the book from him, she's going to fall to her death and rip out the page, which will also get burned, right? If you go back and watch the chase scene between him and L, there's a point in the alleyway. He makes a left turn passing an open dumpster fire, basically. And his hand literally goes over it. Now, I thought they're going to surprise me. He dropped the page in there with his name on it. No. That would have ended right there.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't just write her name in it so she would just die in a crowd and then go to the cop and say, I need protection from this L guy who's trying to save me or trying to kill me. There's so much stupidity there.
Well, sometimes caper movies go way too far in the caper. Like, you know, they have to have their big climax, so they need to do all this stuff, and they really hope you don't think too hard about it. Because realistically speaking, there's 4 or 5 times he could have ended this without ever.
Walter, Death Note is the wrong series to do that. With Death Note, the whole series is literally about thinking. The only action that takes place in the entire series is thinking. The reason you watch it is because you enjoy the game between L and Light. I actually stopped liking Death Note after L died. Because I just couldn't connect to the dude who came after. I wanted to see that game back and forth. Like I counted it as Light winning. You know, when that happened. But, I mean, also, real quick, just out of this, he could have killed L another way without knowing his name. He could have just had somebody else walk in and do a suicide bomb next to him.
He could have. I don't know if he knew where he was going to be.
No, just send him to the police station.
That's assuming that he's at the police station.
Or when he sends Walter on the mission, he knows L's going to come to him. I mean, there's so many ways.
Yeah, you're right.
There
are a lot of ways.
There's so many ways where, like, you don't have to kill him. You don't write his name, write someone else's name, and have it be something big near him.
It's true.
He could have just probably told the guy who knocked out L, the random convenient Kira supporter, kill this man for me right now. He's knocked out. I have his gun. Here's the gun. Kill him. Hide the gun.
It would have worked. He would have done it. He would have done it. He absolutely would have done it. And you wouldn't have to write anything.
No.
And then there are other things, and hopefully they'll do another Death Note and they'll get around to this. But like he didn't mention the Shinigami eyes.
No. You see, I was waiting for that. His dad knows now. He confessed to his dad.
which he had to. They had to do the confession just so that they could explain what happened.
Right.
But I mean, even still, it just there's so much going on here that shouldn't be happening in Death Note about light.
I feel like what's going to happen is like now he's gonna like they're gonna be like doing a psych evaluation or whatever. They're gonna be like, we can't really technically prove this book does this stuff, but no, like everyone's too afraid to try it. Well, you know what? We'll let him go. And then that's what Misa's gonna find him because he's gonna be a high profile person, and then that's when that's going to take place because we learned about the Shinigami Eyes because of her because she just immediately just had it and was like, oh yeah, I can tell everyone's name and whatnot, but now look, after all we talked about so far is bad points, there was one point that was literally flawless. Willem Dafoe,
okay, as Norman Osborn, he was okay. As Ryuk, flawless.
Amazing.
I mean,
it was scary.
Look, okay, and it was bad CGI. It was terrible CGI.
It scared me.
It was terrible CGI though.
That's why he's in shadows most of the time.
Yeah, but even though it was terrible CGI, the fact of the matter is that voice and that inflection and the way the menace that he put in there behind that, you stop noticing that CGI is so bad, and you're just suddenly afraid of the death god floating there. It was beautiful.
And I love the part where he was like, "Oh, write your name in." And he's like, "You can try." The most anyone's ever got was 2 letters, And I was like, and what's funny though? I immediately started thinking about ways how to write his name in the Death Note without him getting to you. But I wonder if he like is watching light at all times. Probably, I would assume.
Oh yeah, I don't think he from the anime he doesn't leave. He's as long as Light's got the Death Note, he's always there.
Now I wonder if you did get his name down, would that kill Ryu? Because he is a death god. So
see, okay, I had this moment, and I don't remember this for sure, or whether it even addressed it, but the holder of the Death Note can't be killed by the Death Note, right? See, I think that
I think you can't be killed by your Death Note.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. So like, even though Light's name was in there, he actually wasn't in any danger.
Right. Now, Misa's death god person, that thing didn't die, right? I forget a lot about her.
I don't remember.
Like
honestly.
She's a dead spot for me, and like all I know is that she brought in the Shinigami Eyes, and she was crazy.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't at all.
I'm sure we'll be corrected down in the comments. I know what will happen. But the point is, guys, like while it was an okay attempt and by far not the worst anime adaptation ever done, their mistake was making it light.
Agreed.
I think they should have just made it another time.
If this was Johnny Smart or whatever.
What could be cool is if he dropped the book or whatever and said so like, have you ever done this before? Have you ever given it to a human? Like I gave it to one human over in Japan once. Just like reference light or something. Like I want to see what you would do with it.
Or have this kid drop it and then it ends up in Japan. Right. And then some kid picks it up that you never see.
Cool. Right, that could be cool. Like some kid in like I think he was in a tan suit the first time we saw him in a tan school uniform. Have him pick up and go, "What's this? Oh, it's light." I think that would have been way better than trying to attempt to do light and then not do it right at all.
And then again, when we first heard about this, we thought it was going to be a series.
Yeah.
If you're going to do Light Yagami,
it's got to be a series.
It's got to be a series.
He's got so much thinking.
Yeah, and you can't do this in 2 hours. It's just not possible.
They didn't do the whole write a name and then like wipe his hand across the screen, all super dramatic. Like none of that. There was no all according to plan moments, where he just made everyone dance to his game. So I mean, like the bottom line is they got it wrong. Ryuk they got right. They got literally everything else wrong.
It was still entertaining.
It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be a train wreck.
It was not bad. It was an okay show, but in terms of what they were trying to achieve, the thing they were trying to recreate, they didn't get even close.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, they took 2 parts of Light and turned it into him and this girl.
Yeah.
The girl actually was the one who was enjoying doing what they were doing, but she was a psychopath.
Right.
Light, the morally sound one, who was just doing it because he wanted to make the world a better place, didn't want any part of it.
Right. And see, Light wasn't just smart at like doing math. Light was the kind of guy who's thought 1,000 steps ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
like as he was in the anime, as he's playing with L, he's thinking of this as chess.
Yeah,
like he's even calling people by
their
chess
piece.
names.
Yeah, look, he's basically evil Shikamaru. I mean, if you think about it, he's evil Shikamaru.
He's morally ambiguous Shikamaru. He wasn't really evil.
He murders just everybody. But I do agree with him on how he murders them. But yeah, so I mean, for me, I'd give it a 6, 7 out of 10.
I'd give it about 6.5.
Just because it actually was enjoyable, and I do want to see more of Ryuk.
Agreed. And then also, my wife again, she liked this. She did, and you know, she didn't finish the whole anime of Death Note. She liked this, and I was like, so when you finish the whole anime, you're gonna be wondering why the hell you like this,
right?
And so
we didn't get to learn any of the cops' names because remember, like there was a whole team, the Kira Task Force. You know, it just there's a lot missing there, and I mean, I am interested to see what they do going forward. But it's just there are some key points missing here.
But I'd be willing to watch another one.
Yeah, I'll be willing to give it another shot. It wasn't totally bad, so. But yeah, guys, let us know down below what you thought of the Death Note movie live action on Netflix. We are at some point going to re-record the top 100. The wind did destroy our recording last time.
It wasn't beneath our wings. It was
in the microphone. it was bad. But let us know down below, you know, what else you guys want us to do. What other things you want us to follow. Not Titan. We've given them a Titan. We can't. Sorry.
Yeah,
not gonna work.
Not gonna work.
This coming month of September, we will be doing Gundam Versus, because Gundam. And yeah, also Money Mayweather. Just saying.
Yeah, that was a knockout of a performance.
Yeah,
there.
it was.
Yeah, so you know, if there's anybody else out there who wants a piece of money, well, he's not fighting anymore.
Nope, he's done.
He's done.
He has a nice round number. But anyways, guys, until next time, we've been your host, Kirby Kid.
And Black Superman.
See you later, guys.